Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. No, you're not seeing things. This isn't a mirage. You got the three sexiest men on the Bama Standard Network giving you the entertainment, the joy, the intrigue, the drama. Yes, we have a little bit of that here on a Thursday afternoon. Before we get started, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're in the live chat, we want to invite you in to take part in all the fun because you're the family. Welcome to the reunion. If you're watching the replay, get down in the comment section below. Show us love there. I want to go ahead and let people know we are here because we have some great people who sponsor us. First and foremost, if your business needs a digital presence or a full-fledged marketing team, SEO, copyright, or a myriad of other things, these are the guys that you need coaching up your business. Workspace Solutions, folks. Visit them today at workspacepros.com. And for the fun part, the season is vastly approaching. But as Alabama fans, we all know good and well the season never truly ends for us. So we've got to have the greatest possible piece of memorabilia out there, and that's a title towel. Go to whitwellsports.com today. Get your title towel. Enter the promo code STANDARD. Get a nice discount courtesy of your family at the Bama Standard Network. Also, listen, the season is vastly approaching, 23 days away. Plenty of time to get that title towel. So go ahead and put your order in today. Of course, it's going to have to be after the show. Let me introduce you to the other two sexiest men alive. We got the man from the final whistle who is never afraid to share his opinion, especially when it comes to Coach Hugh Freeze, burner phones, and all the like. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, the illustrious Daniel Pettey.
Hey, glad to be here with you guys, man. And I'll take third place since we're doing the Olympics. I'll just take that bronze medal on the good looks award here with you guys because I'm coming in third with this group, but. Glad to be here with you. I'll keep my freeze jokes at a minimum today because, man, like they say, we don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. And I think our man Steven down below me, before you give his introduction, has got some hard-hitting stuff from what everybody wants to hear about this time of year. What is going on in practice? What have we got to get excited about? What are we looking for? We're weeks away, man, and I get more excited as the days grow. So glad to be here with you guys.
Yeah, no doubt. And as my beautiful co-host here, Daniel Pettey, alluded to, we got the baddest man in the business, the senior analyst of Touchdown Alabama magazine, as well as the Bama Standard, a man who keeps Paul Feinbaum gainfully employed. Ladies and gentlemen, the hardest working man in show business, Stephen M. Smith.
Glad to be here. I mean, we've gotten through 6 days, y'all, of camp, and today the media was not there. Tomorrow the media will not be there. So I get a 2-day break here. But Saturday, we got a scrimmage at Bryant Denny, and the players, Coach DeBoer, the entire staff, they're ready to get out there and hit with pads and see who's playing fast, see who's playing physical, and most importantly, see who can do the job without the coaches standing over your face.
Yeah, no doubt. The ultimate payoff, Stephen, like you said, is going to be Saturday. The scrimmage is kind of the test. Where are you now? Where are we? We've been here roughly 2 weeks. What have we learned? How are we developing? It's going to be a great opportunity to see kind of where we're at, a great measuring stick, if you will. We don't expect perfection, but we see a little something to where we can digest a little bit, chew on, and give us enough to kind of go on as we go forward. But before we get to Saturday, we have to go with right now, as I said, about a week and a half, 2 weeks of fall camp. The guys are knocking the rust off. They're getting back into the grind. We got the new guys trying to get acclimated to the playbook, their new teammates, the way of doing things. They're enjoying the music. The music's blaring. Stephen Smith is responsible for the great playlist that comes on out there. I think he snuck a little bit of Taylor Swift in there. We'll discuss that later. But nonetheless, football is in the air. First of all, Stephen, one of the things that I'm really most interested in before we get to the players themselves and how they're developing is just the buy-in. We talk about all the great things that are happening, all the rah-rah, but let's get down to what we're really seeing and what you're really seeing as far as the buy-in. This is a new staff. This is a new regime, new way of doing things, new routine. How are these guys truly responding? Because anytime there's a new regime coming in, it's a time for adjustment. Is there a hard period of adjustment going on, or is it just, hey guys, we got these dudes right here. They're coming from Washington. They got close to the Natty. They're doing some great things there, but they're coming here. There's no drop off. Let's go. So tell me, how do these guys feel right now?
This has been, Justin and Pettey, the smoothest transition I've ever seen in my life. You graduate Nick Saban on to retirement, and people think, oh God, the sky is falling. Shoot me now. Kill me, kill me, kill me. No, that's not what it's been. Coach DeBoer, his staff, and the players he's brought in from Washington, when you talk Jeremy Bernard, Austin Mack, Parker Brailsford at center, and Josh Quavis at tight end, they have fit in beautifully with this group. It is incredible, the buy-in, not just from Coach DeBoer. You got Kane Womack. He's about to unleash some stuff with this defense. When you watch this man talk, it's Jeremy Pruitt 2.0. Like, Kane Womack is out here with a hooded jumpsuit in 100-degree heat barking at people. And he's like, look, like, I lost 7 pounds, but I'm going to gain it back. I don't care about that. Like, Kane Womack is out here. Every coaching staff needs a calming presence and a live wire. You need a calming presence and a dude with his hair on fire, insane. That's what Alabama's got here. You got the calm presence of Coach DeBoer, which he can be fiery when he needs to be, and then you just got the loose cannon, and Kane is a loose cannon. This dude's out there chewing people out from 100 yards away because he wants it that badly. And he has spent so much time in conversations with Nick Saban. Like, he calls Coach Saban's phone. Coach Saban answers the phone. Him and Kane Womack are talking for hours, bouncing defensive ideas. You look at Womack, coached by his dad, the originator of the 4-2-5 defense, and now Womack getting coaching from Nick Saban. You have two of the greatest to ever do it defensively in your ear. Like, Womack's about to be a mastermind out here. Yeah, he's gonna be and not to mention the job Jamarcus Shepard has done with these wide receivers. This wide receiver unit in one area will rival the 2018 and 2019 groups with Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, Henry Ruggs, and Waddle. Speed. Ooh. This receiver room has pure. Bama's got several 10-5 100-meter dash sprinters on this team, and people aren't talking about it. Ryan Williams can run. Emmanuel Henderson can run. Kobe Prentice can run. Cole Adams can run. All of these dudes can flat go.
You didn't even mention Law, and they say he got clocked at 23.6 miles per hour the other day.
Law can go. Jeremy Bernard can fly. So you've got nothing but sprinters. They can all burn on this team, and nobody's really talking about that. Chris Kaplovich, the juice man with this offensive line, I saw Tyler Booker pancake somebody on their butt day 3 of camp. And Tyler Booker comes around with bad intentions. Boom! Took the guy out. Guy was flying 5 yards. Took him out. So you got Booker, Brailsford, Roberts, your interior set. Now, your 2 tackles, Coach Cap, Chris Kaplovich, he's mixing and matching that position. So you've got, Caden Proctor's getting reps out there at left tackle. You've got Elijah Pritchard getting reps out there. You got Wilkin Formby getting reps out there. If I had to pick my starting 5 right now, it would be Proctor, Booker, Brailsford, Roberts, Formby. That'll be my 5. But right now, Coach Chris Kaplovich is mixing and matching to both tackle spots, but that line is legit too. Like, you've got guys that have trimmed down. You've got guys that have bulked up. Parker Brailsford's now 290 pounds. He's gone from 275 to 290. So he's bulked up at center, still quick, still explosive, still highly athletic. And his snaps, perfect.
Whoa.
Perfect.
Got me excited.
Pitch perfect. The snap of the ball that kid's got. And his footwork to move, got some nasty good footwork. So I right now, but the biggest position so far, guys, to me that's caught my attention, these young corners, they ain't playing like they're young. And Mbakwe's out there balling. Xavier Brown.
Is he pushing Jones, the weight transfer?
Yeah, I'm telling you, right? But I'm telling you, Pettey, the guy that's pushing him though, and when I sat there and said this, people called me crazy. I said Xavier Brown has Patrick Surtain like teach tape coming up high school. Xavier, discipline, IQ, eyes in the right spot, hands in the right spot, feet are in the right spot. He doesn't get burned out there.
Nice. He
doesn't get burned out there. The kid is coming from California, modern day high school.
Mm-hmm.
Brown is now 196 pounds.
Jeez.
He's right now in that 190 to 200 pound range. We're saving up his corners at Brown, Mbakwe, Zay Mincy. They're all in there digging. They're all in there doing well.
Let's go ahead and touch on the young group. These guys seem to get it right now, and now let Pettey kind of go after me. But Stephen, it's no surprise to you that these guys are showing out. Xavier Brown, Zay Mincy, Jalen Mbakwe. But as you're watching on the field, you got the eyes on the field, feet on the ground. Tell me, what is the biggest reason why this transition for these young guys are so seamless, where you got some veterans that are still trying to make their way? Why do these guys seem to get it right now, and why will we see them a lot sooner than later?
I'll say this. These high school football players today are not what they were 5, 10, 15 years ago. You're getting so many reps in high school, and then you go to all of these camps, and these camps are adding on more reps to your potential collegiate career. And then you look at the coaching that was brought in. The thing I got to give Kalen DeBoer credit for, he did not just bring in coaches. He brought in specialized teachers. Coach Maurice Linguist is a specialized cornerbacks coach. People forget he was in the SEC at Texas A&M. He was in the SEC at Mississippi State. He was in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. Coach Mo Linguist knows corners. So being able to have him work with these guys, and it's not like he's dumping a whole lot on them.
Yeah.
He's taking them stride by stride by stride. That playbook is so simplified. They're just taking the simple and being so sophisticated with it, and the guys are catching on clockwork. They have taken the simple and made it sophisticated. They're not making it hard. They're making it, hey, if you can do this, do that, but then add a small variation to it. And the guys are eating it up.
But even if he were, so to speak, dump a lot on them, it doesn't feel like that those guys will have a problem with it. They're giving me the impression of, okay, coach, feed me more, because we're going to take whatever you can give us, and we're going to show it a little something, and we won't see that field.
I mean, and on top of that, Justin, and I mentioned this 2024 class that came in here, these are not the talk guys. These are the get me on the field and let me show you type. They don't talk much at all. It's get me on the field, put the pads on me, and let me just show you. That's Jalen Mbakwe. That's Zay Mincy. That's Xavier Brown. That's Red Morgan. That's Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. It's bump all the talk, put the pads on me, cut the freaking light switch on, put me on the field, and let me show you. And that's what these young cats are out here doing. Like, every practice you hear Red Morgan's batting the ball down. He's creating a turnover. Every practice you hear Mbakwe is creating a turnover. Every practice you're seeing Xavier Brown doing something different. These guys are doing something different every practice, and they're challenging these receivers. And not just the young guys like your Ryan Williams, your Caleb Odoms, your Bubba Hamptons. They're challenging Prentice. They're challenging Jeremy Bernard. They're challenging K-Law out there. Like, they're challenging these receivers.
Yeah, I believe it. And I like how you mentioned Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. We saw a little bit of his upside in the A-Day game. Very excited. He's got the pedigree. There's no question. We know who's coaching him, Dad, right? Arguably one of the best defensive backs in the Saban era. This kid's got a swag to him. He's got a little bit of that extra dog, and I can't wait to see exactly how far he can go just in year one. I don't think enough people are looking at him right now. I think that he's one of those guys that people are saying, hey, oh, yeah, he's there too. That's right. But I feel like they need to be taking more of a notice for Kirkpatrick Jr. because I feel like he can be a difference maker right away. And I keep cutting into Pettey's time. So
No,
after you comment on that, Pettey, you take the baton.
No, and I think you're right. I think Kirkpatrick's kind of with his namesake has somewhat got lost in the shuffle of an uber talented young defensive back class of guys like Mbakwe, Brown, Mincy. There's just name after name. But like you said, Justin, we turn on the TV for A-Day, or you're sitting in the stadium, and a name we used to see flash several years ago on that field was flashing again at A-Day. So I think that's a great point that I'd like to hear Stephen, talk about.
I think the big thing with Kirkpatrick is going to be special teams. That's where he's going to make his name. He's going to make his name first off on special teams, whether it's the coverage side of it, whether it's the returner side of it, because he returned some punts and some kicks at Gadsden City High School. He did that in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game where he had a whale of a performance. I look at him, if Dre Jr. puts it all in place, he could be a Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu type. Mm-hmm. He could be that good of a player. The one thing for Dre is there are times where he can take too much of a gamble. He can be a little too much of an opportunist. If he can rein that in just a little bit, because he's got a nose for the football. He wants to make plays. But if he can rein in the over gambling at times, I think he can be a very special player.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was actually about to comment on that. The fact that he's not afraid to take a chance or to gamble. I mean, he's jumping routes. He's ready to make a play right there. But, yeah, like you said, there's got to be a little bit of a balance between being unfearful and being smart. So I think this kid's going to get it sooner rather than later. But one of the things that we are definitely focusing on, we miss it. It's being talked about quite often, the Great Wall of Hell No. We hadn't seen it quite some time. We hadn't seen those Ashons out there. We hadn't seen those Jonathan Allens. We hadn't seen the Deron Paynes, but there is hope, folks. I'm hearing some good things, and Stephen, you've said it, and I think you've mentioned it on a couple of podcasts here. The young guys, the second-year guys, the Qua Russaws, the James Smith, the Keon Keeleys, and upperclassmen. You got Jah-Marien Latham, this being overlooked unfairly, might I add. Stephen, talk to us about why year two of these guys, and then Jah-Marien Latham, being in his final year, why this is going to be the year where we may see the Great Wall of Hell No, and then I'll let Pettey kind of jump in after that.
I think the biggest thing is, and it goes back to something that, Marvin Constant, one of our guys in the flagship show, the Bama Standard, says all the time, you take on the personality of the head of your position coach. And defensively, prior to Kevin Steele, you had Pete Golden. I know people are getting PTSD right now, me saying that name, but Pete Golden was more so of your laid-back, chill, not really expecting a lot out of you. And because of that, the play declined because he didn't hold guys to a standard, because he did not require excellence, because he didn't jump down people's throat. He was just like this chill, I'm Pete Golden, do your thing. That was Pete. Kane Womack is not that way. Kane demands, you're going to hit this quarterback or you're going to be on this bench. Kane demands, we can attack for loss or you ain't playing. Kane demands, we're going to get off the field on third down. We're going to be great situationally. We're going to be great in the red zone. We are going to have those non-offensive touchdowns. We're going to get all of that. And Kane is serious about all of that. And the players understand it. They know. And this is the reason why you are seeing the Jah-Marien Lathams finally come all the way out full circle, creating that pass rush. This is why you're seeing the Jaheim Otises keep the body in line, and he's going out there and cleaning people's heads off their body. This is why you're seeing the LT Overtons, the Tim Keenans, the James Smiths, the Keon Keeleys, who he's now ready to get on that field and show what he can do. James Smith is now prepared. Jordan Renaud, Edric Hill, Jeremiah Beeman. They're like, hey, let us get in here now.
Yeah.
Now that you got Kane Womack out here. Quandarius Robinson. I think we're about to see a big year from him. Keanu Coote had a pass rush situation the other day. I'm like, my God, Keanu. Like, he almost tried to take me out. Yancey Pierre has grown. You look at the two freshmen, Jay-Sean Ross and Noah Carter.
Ooh. Those
two in the future are going to be something. So Kane Womack is demanding excellence, and the players across that defensive front, they are giving it to him in fall camp. There are a variety of ways, but Alabama's going to now bring this pressure. I mean, more so than not, Kane wants to do it with 4 down, but don't be surprised along with that 4 down. He's going to miss some twist tango. He's going to mix some stunts. He's going to have one guy come from the side, one guy come up the middle, one guy come from around the edge, and the quarterback's like, what the world? And you're on the ground. So there's going to be – Kane is tweaking, and Kane's a mad scientist back there. He is tweaking some stuff.
So who in the mad scientist lab right now has him salivating the most?
I think right now the guy that's got him salivating the most is Keeley. Keeley's body – Keeley's body now is Will Anderson meets Terrell Lewis.
Shoot.
That's Keeley's body now.
Good Lord.
That's Keeley's body, like right now. Like he was 242. He's now 277.
Jeez.
Like that. Keeley is and still quick and still insanely quick, even with that size. Still insanely quick. Him, Latham's got Womack salivating. Otis has got Womack salivating. Keenan has got Womack like, okay, I see this. Keanu Coote has Womack really. I'm telling you, there are pass rushers on this front, and Kane Womack is right now crunching down. Okay, he's setting up packages. This is going to be my regular package. Here's my second and long package. Here's my third and long package. Here's my situational package. Now, he's working all of this in.
I like that. Michael says right here, to quote Nick Gentry, you got 2 seconds. Make your first move, and you better win on your first move. And when you do, you better know what you're supposed to hit. So is Keeley that guy right there? That is he the guy who's that scrapper, that fighter right now that is telling people, okay, you better get me on the first move. If you don't, life's gonna be bad for you.
It's Keeley, and it's also Coote. It's Coote also. Coote's like, hey, if you don't take my legs off this first move, your quarterback dead. that's Keanu Coote. That's Keanu Coote, and that's Q-Rob also. Mm-hmm. Q-Rob is like, if you don't take my hand off my body, your quarterback finna have his life removed in about 2 seconds. So, like this, I'm telling you, this defensive front here, it's got pass rushers. It's got them. You got 12 to 15 dudes you're rotating across the board, plus a little extra more. So, yeah.
Well, Pettey, we spent enough time talking about the defense. I'm excited. I'm ready to see these guys go, but we got to show some love to the offense. Yeah. And you mentioned in our private chat that you want to kind of take this. So take it and run with it. What's exciting you? What do you want to know?
Defenses win championships, but we're in the era of offense, man. The defensive era is gone. Saban's gone, so is the era of defense. We got to flip and score, and we got to light it up. And I think we got the offense to do it. And that's what I think a lot of folks want to hear about. One of the whispers that's growing out of camp, and I don't even think it's a whisper any now, and you've heard people in commentary talk on it, that Milroe is starting to find that guy that's his safety blanket. Look, you can have a receiving core, but there's always that one guy that your stud, that your go-to, Amari Cooper, or whoever it be. It's sounding like it's Kendrick Law. So I've got two things I want to hear about. From what you've seen, is Kendrick Law is he kind of separating himself as that dude in the core? And one more thing I want to touch on that everybody wants to hear about is, and look, I even tried to caution some folks a couple weeks ago, like, look, man, for all the upside that there is to Ryan Williams, he's still supposed to be going into a senior year of high school. Mm-hmm. He still may need to put a little more meat, a little more weight in the britches before he steps on the SEC field. Then 2 weeks later, I hear that he's already added 10 pounds of bulk. He's up to 175. He's absolutely lighting it up, and not just winning over, the coaches in practice. He's winning over his teammates. So I guess that's the twofold: is Law becoming that guy, and is Ryan Williams, man, is he the real deal?
I'm gonna go with the Law one first. Law is becoming the guy. Law is the guy. I mean, K Law, I saw him and he caught this ball in practice right in front of me. So today is Thursday. This will be Tuesday. Jalen Milroe had a slant and go with K Law. Milroe pumps, puts the prettiest ball in the air. Law is coming 100 miles an hour, makes the catch, kept both feet in bounds right in front of me. K Law's the guy. K Law's the guy in terms of receiver. K Law's the guy in terms of blocking. K Law is ready to show the whole world why people look at him as a Deebo Samuel type, because he can do everything out there on the field. Coach Jamarcus Shepard talked about there will be plays where K Law comes in motion, lines up as a running back, and will take the handoff. Like that is just how much they are going to use that guy. He is the guy. He has become Jalen Milroe security guy.
I hear you said Deebo, and I know he's the most recent, but with his strength numbers, man, the first name that came to my mind was Percy Harvin. When he was at Florida.
Percy Harvin, yeah. As far as recent Alabama receivers, we'll go Ardarius Stewart. He's not Ardarius Stewart-like. Yeah. He's very Ardarius Stewart-like. So as far as Ryan Williams, the kid's a showstopper. He made a catch one-handed for a touchdown over Xavier Brown the other day. Shoot. I mean, the kid, Ryan does stuff in practice. I'm like, geez, just golly, dude. Like, Ryan, one-handed catches, jumping over people, catching the ball in traffic. The kid is 17 years old. The kid's gifted. He is gifted. But what I love about him right now, he pays no attention to the outside noise. He has a way of just blocking it all out and doing what he's got to do on the field. And for a guy 17 years old of that kind of maturity, you put that kid on the field. I mean, he blocks out the external. It doesn't faze him. He's not bothered by it. And he's out there making play after play after play. I'm like, he's it.
So we're going to see him sooner than later, is what it sounds.
You're going to see Ryan much sooner than later. I'll say this. So when I'm out there at practice, he's number 2 behind K-Law as an outside receiver. If that tells you anything. He's number 2 behind K-Law.
Wow. So yeah,
the three receivers that have been leading drills: K-Law on the outside, Jeremy Bernard on the outside, Kobe Prentice in the slot.
Okay.
Sam's got a nice question here. What wide receiver no one talking about that has the potential to surprise everyone? You gonna say Cole Adams?
Cole is one, but another one. I'm gonna throw 2 out here. That's
okay.
I'm gonna throw 2 more out here. Emmanuel Henderson's gotten a whole. E-Man's good. E-Man should be a running back, but the reason why he was pushed to wide receiver was because of Jam Miller. But E-Man is really good. Emmanuel Henderson's really good. And then the other guy, Bubba Hampton.
I like him.
Bubba's got routes. When I say routes, the whole tree. He can run it, the whole tree. Like, Bubba Hampton's going to be something.
But go ahead.
I mean, he's going to be a kid that people will look back and go, I didn't think he was that. There's a reason why he was flipped from Texas. There's a reason why he was taken from Sarkeesian. Bubba Hampton can run some routes.
Good baller. Well, man, I would be, and before I flip to another position, I'd be remiss if I've kind of fanboyed out on one recruit in particular that got here earlier. But I mean, with all the talent you're talking about in the room right now, and I know he's kind of a tweener. What does Caleb Odom look like so far? Is he finding a spot, or is he just kind of like a talented dude getting lost in a pretty big shuffle right now?
He ain't lost. Looks 6'5", 217.
God,
looks the part. Looks the part. And I was talking to Battalions coach Brian Ellis the other day, and he was like, man, I hate I lost him to the wide receivers. I had to let him go, but I hate I lost him to the wide receivers. And Caleb, Caleb, I mentioned Caleb. I mentioned Ryan is number 2 behind Caleb. Caleb Odom is number 2 behind Germ.
Okay.
On the other side. So Caleb's gonna get out there too.
I feel like he could just be an unbelievable weapon in the red zone. So that's where I'm really excited to see if we got some packages for that guy.
And we've talked to Jalen Milroe about that, and Jalen Milroe kind of gave a devilish smirk, like, yeah, he good in the red. He good in the red.
The boy can get up.
Trust that smile. Trust that smile.
I'm just saying. So Nick Sheridan, the OC, he don't talk a lot in the press conferences. Nick Sheridan's wheels is turning on. Okay, yeah. I got something to work with here.
So is Nick Sheridan the offensive savant enough to where you mentioned, Pettey, that different packages? Is he the offensive savant to the level where he's keeping everyone involved enough to make them all happy? Because we just named several people off a sheet right there. They're just blowing things up. The potential's through the roof. Even the young guys, Aaron Bubba Hampton, I like that kid. I really like that kid. And I don't think he's being mentioned enough because, I mean, geez, a lot of attention is being thrown towards Ryan Williams and Caleb Odom. Yeah, rightfully so. But he needs to be included in that. But, Stephen, is Nick Sheridan going to be able to keep these guys involved enough to where they're not thinking about sneaking out towards the end of the season, but they feel like, oh, you know what? I'm a valuable part of this offense, and I'm going to make my mark pretty soon.
I 100% believe that Nick Sheridan is, but I think the greatest thing for Sheridan is look at all of the offensive savants around him also. You got DeBoer, an offensive savant. You got Jamarcus Shepard, an offensive savant. You got Brian Ellis, an offensive savant. You got all of these guys around him. So I think Sheridan, as kind of the head honcho, calling the plays, I think he will do more, but enough to keep this group around. But I think just wide receivers in general, Jamarcus Shepard and what he provides, his impact, I think his voice in that room is going to be more than enough to keep guys, because guys want to play for Coach Shep. They don't want to leave that dude. They want to play for that guy right there. So I feel like the play calling of Nick Sheridan, but also the passion that is Jamarcus Shepard is going to keep guys in that room.
Well, and look, man, it's like Justin said, we just got a litany of guys, man. There's so many options. It's going to be exciting to see. But I think like you said, Law and a few guys are obviously going to stand out, but there's several guys that have an opportunity. I mean, 5 or 6 guys that can be key contributors. But, man, nothing makes a wide receiver group look better than a strong-ass running game.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Justice Haynes guy. I think he's the next dude. Like, I'm again, we talk about fanboy. Haynes is my guy. But I hear my boy Steven on other shows talking about Jam Miller just showing out at practice. And that leads me to the question, not one or the other. Are we looking at, a legit 2-headed monster right now?
You're looking at a legit 2-headed tandem for the first time in a long time. And these two, they balance off each other extremely well. Justice, we know, can make a hole where there's no hole. He is great in between the tackles. He will fall forward. He will carry guys for extra yards. You look at Jam can bounce to the outside, great on the perimeter, great in between the tackles. But what is he also good for? That passing game. He can catch the wheel route. He can catch the ball in the flat. I mean, he can catch the ball in the open field. So both of these two play extremely well off of each other. This is going to be your first really big time 1-2 punch since Eddie Lacy, TJ Yeldon.
Yeah.
This is going to be your first 1-2 punch like that. And then keep your eyes open, folks. Richard Young has had himself a camp.
Yeah.
Number
Richard
25
Young,
shoot all the way back to A-Day, man. He looked like he may have been the best.
I'm going to say this. He's now 215 pounds.
Sheesh.
He is much better he has gotten a lot better in pass pro. He has gotten a lot better in pass pro. He has gotten a lot better at catching the ball at the backfield. He has added more physicality. Kalen DeBoer talked about it. He has become one of the most consistent players throughout the offseason. Richard Young's going to steal some carries.
I got to. He's too good.
Absolutely. And you're saying two-headed monster, and I'm thinking the whole time, well, why does it have to be two? It's three, because I go back to the days of Damian Harris, Najee Harris, and Josh Jacobs. So why can't we have this situation here
behind Henry and
yeah, I'm looking at Jam and Justice just pounding, and then I see the perfect opportunity for Richard Young after the defense is flat out worn out and beaten up. Then you're going to stick another dude out here, and we got to stop that. I don't think they can. I dare someone to stop Richard Young, man. I don't think. I'm not going to be surprised either if we see just a little bit, maybe, of Daniel Hill snuck in there somewhere.
When you look at Hill and Kevin Riley, I can see some spot play for both of those two. Now, obviously, that they're going to want to keep the red shirt. They're going to want to keep the red shirt. We know in this new age of college football, you play 4 games so you can keep your red shirt. So I could see Western Kentucky, them guys getting out there, Mercer, them guys getting out there, South Florida, them guys getting out there, and maybe one more game before you pack it on in for those two guys and going into the next spring.
That group excites me, as it excites Pettey. The running game, University of Alabama, that's the first thing that jumps off the page is a strong running game. Running back you, along with name defensive spot you.
3-headed monster. I don't know why I stopped at 2, because when you think of those great teams, they weren't 2-headed monsters. They were 3-headed. Lacy coming in behind
Ingram and Richardson.
Trent and Ingram. I mean, it was just the third guy ended up being the stud with 2 more behind him. It just was a rotating. And I think, and I mean, Bob was getting on Steven for being excited. And I was like, yeah, he is a little bit excited, but hard not to be excited about this offense. I think this offense has a chance to be stupid special this year.
I'll wrap up the offense with this. I was with Jeremy Bernard. This was yesterday. So we asked Jerm, being real, man, how good can this offense be? Jerm's like, look, man, we gonna score 40+ a game.
That's I don't see how that.
Hey, Jerm's like, we are going to score 40+ a game. Period. Jerm said that with like the straightest face I have ever seen. We are going to score 40+ a game. And guys, even the specialists have been great in camp right now. The specialists.
Yeah, we forget about that.
I mean, Graham Nicholson, the kicker, that leg, he got one. Woo, he got one. He got one. Yes, we will forever miss Will Reichert, but Graham Nicholson's got a leg. He was the Lou Groza Award winner for a reason. He got it. James Burnap is flipping it. He's flipping it.
The awesome Aussie.
He's flipping it. Now, I see a situation.
What's the deal with Australian punters? Did they have some kind of like mill down there that just creates Australian punters?
Or do they just grow them in a field or some kind of lab that as soon as they're out the womb, they're dropping 50-yarders?
So here's my theory. Here's my theory for Australian punters. After they come out the womb and they get a little bit of red wine in their bottle, they throw them out to the kicker's field. And
kangaroo.
And they're out there kicking Kangaroo Jack all the way down Australia.
Hey, he's a take charge guy, a solid young man. And if ever there was a position on the field that meant a lot to the flow of a game, it's the punter. And a lot of people like to overlook that, but my gosh, that James Burnett puts in a lot of great positions this past year. I think that's overlooked, and don't overlook it anymore, y'all.
I mean, obviously, the guy. Okay, so the jump he made from year 1 to year 2 was astronomical. Year 1, he was good. He averaged 42.3 yards a punt. Last year, he averaged almost 50 yards a punt. 47.6. The guy had 24 of his 57 punts travel 50 plus yards, including 6 60-yard punts.
Yeah.
People forget against Michigan, he dropped 5 of 7 punts inside the 20.
Yeah.
Against Michigan.
That was the only part of the package they couldn't cheat and steal from us was our punt game. So we can do that good still.
Here's the crazy part, Pettey, before I get into Don Parker's question. Here's the crazy part. The punt where Burnett gets hit, and there was supposed to be a flag for roughing the punter, and the flag wasn't called, that punt traveled 57 yards, and he got hit on it.
Yeah,
love that kid. Let's go ahead and get to some questions before we talk about some surprise players, which I think our audience wants to know. Who are some guys who are really turning the heads that we didn't think were turning heads? So, but let's get to our audience, to the reason why we're here today. Sam, let's start out with Sam. Is it a foregone conclusion that Caden Proctor will be the starter at right tackle, or do you think that battle continues at that spot? Stephen, has he locked it down?
Okay, so Coach Chris Kaplovich mentioned that could go throughout fall camp, but to be honest, I think Proctor has locked down left tackle.
Yeah.
I think Proctor's locked down left tackle. Right tackle, I think that's Wilkin Formby. I think Wilkin's taking it.
Nice.
I think Pritchett will be a backup for either or, and then along with Pritchett, Joseph Ionata will be a backup. Casey Poe will be a backup. You'll have backups there, but I think Caden Proctor is going to take left, and I think Wilkin Formby will take right.
Sticking with that, I don't want to interrupt the flow here, but how's my guy, Oloas Alanin? This is a guy I've been watching since the beginning, Stephen. We had him on our show before. Great kid. Has all the ingredients, the physicality to be that next big Bama lineman. Where is he at?
Backup guard behind Jaden Roberts.
Well, there's that. Nobody's passing Jaden.
He's right behind Jaden. Oloas is a freak show. That kid throws people down like rag dolls. He's the backup guard. He's the number 2 guard.
Okay. That's an offensive line name too, man.
It really is.
I mean, it's
also the backup center right behind Brailsford, Rock Montgomery.
Man, I like that. If he doesn't
Montgomery's and he can snap it well too. Montgomery's the backup center.
All Bama fans want to see this year is that dude at center can snap it well.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And then less penalties, right? Let's go to Michael. How good at blocking down the field are the wide receivers?
Well, that is something that Kendrick Law takes pride in. So he's blocking well downfield. Princess is blocking well downfield. Jeremy Bernard will block the mess out of you. So he's blocking well downfield. Ryan Williams can block. Okay. Ryan, Cole Adams, not he'll throw his body in there and block somebody. So the receivers can block. They can all block.
Okay, I like that. I like blocking. I like that snaps are going where they're supposed to go.
Right. It takes a 10-yard run to a one to the house.
That's it. Don Parker's got a question for the panel. Is Proctor's weight at 369 a concern? What other offensive linemen are doing well in camp so far that we have not mentioned?
Okay, and so I know a lot of people looked at the updated roster, and they saw 369 pounds by Caden Proctor's name, and they went, "Oh dear God, he's gotten bigger. This is not good. He's not taken to the conditioning, the treatment well, the body stuff well." The rumor was Proctor came to Alabama out of high school at 380.
Yeah,
that was the rumor. 380. So the fact that he's dropped to 369, he's holding 369 very well.
Nice.
Like I'm seeing him out there in practice. He's moving. He's getting around. It's not like he's lumbering slowly. No.
Right.
He's firing out of there. He's moving around. He's shifting around. Like the 369 is not holding Proctor back. So I'm happy about that. But 369 is not holding Proctor back. Now, of course, as we continue with camp and get into some games, does he play his weight down even more? I mean, that may happen. I mean, people forget, hey, Jaheim Otis came in 415 pounds, and he had to drop down, and even he had to even play himself down, a bit more. So he will drop. He will drop more. Caden Proctor will drop more as he plays into the season. He will be fine. Now, as far as other offensive linemen doing well in camp that we haven't mentioned, Geno Vandermark, the transfer from Michigan State's having a good camp. He's working a little bit there as an offensive guard. So I like what Geno has brought over. I mentioned Rock Montgomery. Miles McVay has been getting in there. McVay's been getting in there. He's been having a good camp. N'Keal Bertrand, but transfer from Texas A&M's been getting some looks here and there. So they've been mixing and matching this offensive line. They really have been.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. SK, 3 middle linebacker package with Jefferson. Now, that's a name that we expected to hear from this past season. He was relatively non-existent except in maybe garbage time. And this is something I've wondered too. Is Justin Jefferson going to be a factor? He had a lot of hype coming in. What do we see from him?
He is going to be a factor. Justin Jefferson is the number 3 inside linebacker that Coach Womack said that this guy's a starter. He's a starter right there with Lawson, right there with Campbell. And Womack has already created a formation, a package with all 3 on the field. And that package, I believe Jefferson may probably be the coverage guy along with D-Law, and Jihad Campbell could be the one in that package that you say go out there and attack the quarterback on a blitz. So there's a package with all 3 of those guys out there. Justin Jefferson is going to have his year. He actually gained 3 pounds, going from 225 to 228.
Okay, I like that. I like to hear that. And I think this is something we could all address here from Sam. Why are so many people so high on Robbie Oates? I mean, what has he really done? I've seen him catch 2 passes and miss a few blocks. I think he's being unfairly criticized. No offense, Sam. I understand where you're coming from because we honestly, we haven't seen anything. I don't think we've had a coordinator till now that knew how to properly use him. This is a guy that when I look at, he has the potential to be like Justin Fowler was, where he could be used in a myriad of ways. But we just haven't had the guys that knew what to do with him to put him in those places or to be able to excel the way we all believe he can. He's got an awesome haircut. Love the mullet. But we need to see it on the field. So let's talk about this a little bit. I feel like this can be a year where he contributes. If anybody can rev up his career, it's who we got in place right now. Daniel, start us out. And then, Stephen, if you would clean up this up, let's talk about Robbie Oates.
I'll let Stephen go, man, because I'm like you. I don't have – I'm kind of – I'll go real quick, though. I'll piggyback on, the offensive coordinator, I don't felt like the tight end got really utilized anyway. So this is one where we're in a microwave society. We expect people, even Jefferson, to come out first year and make an impact, or year 2, even coming off a red shirt. And man, sometimes it takes a minute for the light bulb to come on. And it's a hard game to catch on to, man. You got to give some of these kids a chance to develop when they get to the next level or get more of a chance. And again, it could also be, we're going to see a whole different offensive coordinator that's going to get more involved in that position, I think.
Okay. Steve.
I think the main thing is when the Nick Saban era started, tight ends were mainly blockers. That's what they were recruited for. You're a C-gap guy. Put your hand in the dirt. You're an extension of the offensive line. You block. Occasionally, you can slip out there and catch a pass. Occasionally. But your number one job is blocking. The tight end position has become way more specialized now than ever before, to where you're not just a block. You don't have to be just a blocker anymore. now you can actually get out wide and be a receiver.
Yeah.
You can get out wide and be a pass catching option, right? And that started with O.J. Howard. O.J. was the first one where, you can get out there, you can be that kind of receiving option. And even with him, Saban was so stuck in the you got a block phase that Bama didn't use OJ the way he should have been used.
I'm glad you said that. The running joke was, can we get OJ off the milk carton?
Right. I mean,
right.
The first tight end of this era of being the vertical stretch the field tight end, the hybrid type, the first tight end Bama ever used the way he needed to be used was Irv Smith. Irv was the first one where Bama actually truly used him the way he was supposed to have been. And so now with a guy like Robbie Oates came out of Rock Creek High School in South Carolina. And Robbie there was more so a blocker. I mean, he made catches when they threw him the football, but he was more so a blocker. And I go back to your point, Justin. I see him in that Charleston Fowler H-back type of role where he will primarily be a blocker to open up the running lanes for your running backs. But when you get him into the red area, that's where you could slip him out and have him catch touchdown passes in the red area, like you did with Charleston Fowler, like Lane Kiffin did in 2014 with Charleston. You use him blocker. Okay, now we're in first and goal from the 5. You run a little play action pass, bootleg out. Fowler gets the corner. You blow it out there to him. He makes a catch. He's in the end zone, touchdown. So I think that could be an area where you use Robbie Oates.
I agree completely. Let's get to this last question, and then let's talk about surprise players, and we'll start to wind down. Mike Coleman is asking about who's going to be our kick returners / punt returners. That's something we hadn't really brought to the table for discussion, and that's a very important piece of the whole puzzle, right? We haven't had anybody dynamic at those positions since Jamison Williams, and that seems so far long ago, doesn't it? There just hasn't been that explosion. I honestly don't feel like the Kool-Aid was the guy who should have been back there to return kicks. I feel it should have been Kendrick Law. But who is going to remind us that we throughout the Alabama history of doing things, we've had some dudes that are meaningful at returning kicks and returning punts. So who do we have right now? Have you seen enough to make an accurate prediction? Where do you stand on this?
I've said these names before, and I will keep on saying them. Number 1, Jalen Mbakwe.
Yeah.
Have him return punts. He did it at Clay Chalkville High School. He was electric doing it at Clay Chalkville High School. That's number 1. Number 2, put Cole Adams back there.
Yeah.
This guy was a 10-6 100-meter dash sprinter at high school in Oklahoma. Put Cole Adams back there. Another guy to put back there returning punts. Put Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. back there.
Yeah.
He can return punts. Put a guy like Emmanuel Henderson back there. She can return punts. As far as kickoffs, Kendrick Law can return punts. Jeremy Bernard can return punts. Bubba Hampton.
I was about to say, do you put him in there? I like the kid.
Put Bubba Hampton, let him get out there, field the ball, judge the bounce of the ball, take off with it. Especially these young guys who are trying to create a name for themselves within this roster, within this culture. Put them back there. Let's see what type of speed they have. Can they judge the ball? Can they judge the bounce of the ball? Can they set the wedge up with their eyes, with their vision? Can they cut and go? Can they cut off blocks? Can they make excitement happen? Let's put the young guys in there.
Agreed. Hey, shout out to Don Parker throwing $5 our way. Thank you guys for doing this. Acknowledge. That's right. Acknowledge the tribal chief here. Looking forward to seeing how it all looks on game day. All tight ends on this team can be weapons. Yeah, without question. I think, Stephen, you pretty much summed it up the best way out of anybody that I've heard sum it up. So, yeah, these guys can be used weapons. We have coaches who know how to use them. I'm really thrilled about it. So, Stephen, I got to divert now as we start to wind things down. Who are the guys They're surprises right now that we didn't expect to be surprises. You're over there looking like, well, damn, where did this come from? And man, why was I not paying attention to that before now? Do you have that guy yet? Or are you still waiting?
I'm gonna say this. Justin Okonrokwo.
Yes.
Him.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you right now, he more athletic, versatile, thumping version of Henry To'oTo'o. Justin O can thump with it. Ooh, can he thump with it?
Just got to learn the game, right?
He can thump with it. Okonrokwo, the more I'm out there, he can thump with it. I like him. Number 2, and this is a tight end, Jay Lindsey.
Oh,
Jay Lindsey, the freshman. I made some plays in fall camp. If he can get a bit more flexible in his hips to where the moment he makes a move, he can make a move, Jay Lindsey gonna be something. I like Jay Lindsey. Third guy that had me going like that I didn't think, but I'm thinking now. I knew he was talented, but I did not think that Jah-Marien Beeman would make this much of a push. Jah-Marien Beeman's made this much of a push. He's going to break this. Beeman's almost 300 pounds now. He's 297. Jeez. Beeman's going to make a push in this rotation, man.
Every time you say that kid's name, I think of Willie Beeman from Any Given Sunday.
I mean, Jah-Marien is going to make a push in this rotation. Somewhere he is going to be in this rotation as far as the defensive line is concerned. He going to be in here somewhere. That you just cannot look away from that kid.
I like that. I like to hear that. I love having those big dudes. Before I let Pettey ask the final question, I'll remind everyone again, we are sponsored by Workspace Solutions. If your business needs a digital presence, full-fledged marketing team, SEO, copyright, or any other business need, these are the people you need coaching up your business. Visit them today at workspacepros.com, and never forget to have your title towel in hand. 23 days away from kickoff. Go ahead and order yours today, whitwillsports.com. Enter that nice promo code STANDARD because we love you guys. We're all about giving you the best discounts and stuff possible. So enter that in and get you a towel, have it ready. Matter of fact, I want you waving it while you're watching the show. Well, Pettey, I feel like the best goes last. You're the most exciting guy. You bring the drama, the intrigue, and a lot of humor too. So what's your final take? What's your final question? What
final question. It's gonna be like a sandwich, like an ice cream. Speaking of ice cream,
I like ice cream.
Did you get invited to the ice cream social after practice, Stephen?
Did you drive the truck? On mute. He's so excited. I think he's
so excited. He still got the ice cream sugar highs.
Pettey. So funny story, man. Funny story. So I'm out there at the players. Have the coaches and players are speaking to the media, and I keep hearing this sound, and I'm looking around like, this bringing me back to the hood. The ice cream truck outside. so the kid, the 5-year-old on the inside of me is like, bruh, run out there. They're not going to notice you. Run out there and get you a strawberry. Get you a strawberry bar, like a little strawberry cheesecake bar. Go out there and get that. And I'm like, Steven, we not gonna go out there and get a strawberry shortcake bar. Do it.
Man, I'd have got the Hulk Hogan bar that they used to sell.
Heck yeah, those were some good. I remember those. Whew.
So I didn't go out there, but several of the coaches were out there. I mean, it was awesome seeing the coaches out there, seeing the players out there. Kalen DeBoer did this at Washington. And the fact that he's brought it from Washington to Tuscaloosa, it's just a different part of the culture he's ushering in, showing the care to those players. Like, if you can see the smiles on those guys' faces, they're out there getting ice cream.
That's what you touched on this earlier in the show. You talked about Womack being a fire starter, and you even kind of touched on several positions. But man, the GOAT, set a presence for over a decade of this intense passion. We knew what Saban's practices were like from the glimpses we got and his emotion and his intensity. And you were going into it, and I didn't want to stop you, but I did want to ask this final question. And I think this was something people really want to know. And you, above anybody being at practices, got a better take on this. You said that the ice cream social and the culture he's brought with him. What is DeBoer's demeanor at practice? Is it that intensity? Is it this players coach? What does he bring in that's so different than Saban had?
He's a players coach, but
smiles.
there's an intense side to him.
Mm-hmm.
He will pull out the intense side to him, but he is all about, guys, y'all know this program more than I do.
Oh,
You teach me, I teach you.
man.
We gonna do this thing together. Y'all lead this team. This is y'all's team. This team is gonna be player-led. This is y'all's team. I'm gonna supply the framework, but the bare bones of this is you. And the players love him for that. Like they enjoy the framework he's put in place. But when you talk to Kalen, it's like, this is the players' team. This is Jalen Milroe's team. This is Malachi Moore's team. This is Tyler Booker's team. This is their team. Like, I'm putting the framework in here, and yes, I'm going to get on them if I have to get on them, but this is their team.
Nice.
I think that ties into the opening topic about the buy-in process.
Mm-hmm.
That sums it up beautifully. This is why they're buying in, because he's saying, okay, guys, I might be your coach, but this is about you. This is your team ultimately. I'm just the guy who's directing you in the right places, is going to get you to where you need to go. But I don't have any success if I'm not listening to you, if I'm not hearing from you. The players are pouring into him. They're pouring life into him as he pours life into them. It's give and take. So that's an excellent way to kind of bring this all full circle.
Right. And so I was having a conversation with, I had brought this up to Coach Sheridan, Nick Sheridan. And I was like, well, Coach Sheridan, you got you out there, you got Kane Womack out there. You guys are both competing, offense, defense, the whole thing. Like what has it been like for y'all two out there kind of matching wits against each other out there on the practice field? And so Nick Sheridan's like, look, I haven't caught a touchdown pass. Kane doesn't make a tackle. This is about these players. Like we structure these up for these players. They're out here competing. Now, yes, Kane and I match wits. I get the better of him. He gets the better of me. It's cool in that way, but it's about these players.
Yeah.
These players are out there at war, like at full-on war every day.
I think that's a great way to bring this show to a close. But before we do, man, I want to remind everybody, tune in this Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, my time zones just got messed up. We got Saturday nights talking Bama, and one of the guys on this panel is on that show, Stephen Smith, but he's also got some great accomplices, Justin J.B. Baines, and we got Josh J.T. Tucker, and then we got Marshall Bean. That's a great crew, and they are really changing the game. Their show is fantastic. If you hadn't started watching, you need to start watching. It's definitely worth investing in. It'll definitely make the whole week come to close the way you need it to, especially now, Stephen. I mean, we got the first scrimmage. Y'all have a lot to talk about, don't you?
Man, look, Justin, you already know you gonna call me after the scrimmage is over. Hey, man, let's hop on this one.
Let's hop on. Let's do some work.
hey, Justin, hey, Pettey, hey, Justin gonna call me the moment I get a breath of air. Hey, man, what you saw?
What you see?
Hey, I'm like, man, I'm trying to find Jeff Allen to grab a wet towel, man.
That's it. I'm gonna be calling up. Hey, man, you got any of that practice?
Got them practice. Got them nuggets.
Got any of them videos?
But yeah, man, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. Getting a chance to be out there at this scrimmage and seeing, like I mentioned, the guys, which ones can play fast, which guys can be focused, which guys can play physical, and the most important thing is, which guys do not have to have the coaches over their shoulder. Right. At the moment that ball is snapped, you're out there executing. So that's the main thing this coaching staff wants to see is who can execute.
I agree. Hey, someone who's executing today is John Parker. We got
Parker,
$5
man,
again from him. have to put this out there. Rokenrow is from Munich, Germany, my wife's hometown, so he has to represent.
Oh, he representing now. That man thumping out there. That man thumping.
Mostly for Don Parker's wife.
Oh, man.
Well,
Hey, appreciate the love there, Southern Red.
Yes, the best voice in Alabama football. You have to take the mound now. Eli's gone, so it's all on you, sir.
It's all you, Steven.
Now, apparently Chris Stewart has something to say about that. So I'm kind of jockeying with Chris Stewart.
So we need to see y'all in the next WWE pay-per-view, lose at least town match. Can we do that?
You know what? Set that up with Triple H and John Cena. Set that up.
I will. He can be a part of Cena's farewell tour.
Yeah.
All right, let's start to wrap things up. Let's go around the room, albeit small, and let's tell folks how they can find you. Start out with Pettey, then we'll go down to Stephen M.
You can find me on Facebook. It's Daniel Pettey, Pettey. It's only probably one out there with the E. You can get me on X at Pettey_Daniel. But most importantly, man, Tuesday nights at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, you can catch me on this network, the Bama Standard, with the show The Final Whistle. We call ourselves the Avengers. I don't know how much avenging we always do, but we do cut up and have a good time. But we got Matt Caddell, Chris James, Lushine, my man Dan. We got Ty Hayes hops in from time to time. Always a good time. Check us out on this network Tuesdays, 8 Central, The Final Whistle.
Stephen M. Smith.
Absolutely. Well, they can find me at touchdownalabama.com, as I have been doing nothing but camp stuff, even on the day I'm not at camp because the media wasn't required to be there. But touchdownalabama.com. We're getting all the camp stuff out to you right there at touchdownalabama.com. You can find me on Twitter, or X now, formerly Twitter, at Coaching M. Smith right there at Coaching M. Smith. I'm dropping all kinds of clips there from coaches, players at camp, camp clips. These things have been getting over 30,000 views on X. It's crazy the amount of engagement these clips have been going on social media. I will be at the scrimmage on Saturday, so if you see a person out there sweating, trying to find a towel, that'll be me. I'll also be writing down valuable information to get to these two guys right here, Justin and Pettey as well. But when you're not seeing me on touchdownalabama.com, you can catch me right here, the Bama Standard, on Tuesdays for the flagship show, on Saturday nights with JB and JT talking Bama, and wherever I can float my way in on the Bama Standard, like on this right here, I just magically floated my way in.
You did. Well, guys, I appreciate you entertaining the crowd this Thursday afternoon, and I'm sure everybody in the live chat appreciated it too. Thank you for everyone who came in today and watched us. Thank you for the super chats from Don Parker. We love you guys. But that's going to do it for us. Come back Saturday night for more Bama content. Till then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.
Rolling.